Next at 10, a Tulsa woman records a man attacking her car while she's inside. Plus, how social media is shaping people's opinions in the Crutcher shooting.
This week only, don't order Domino's over the phone. Order online.
This week only, order any pizza online at menu price and get the second one free when you carry out.
This was dual engine loss followed by an immediate water landing with 155 souls on board. No one has ever trained for an incident like this.
Rated PG-13, now playing.
My friends know me so well. They can tell what I'm thinking just by looking in my eyes. But what they didn't know was that I had dry, itchy eyes. I used artificial tears from the moment I woke up to the moment I went to bed. So I finally decided to show my eyes some love. Some eye love.
Eye love means having a chat with your eye doctor about your dry eyes. Because if you're using artificial tears often and still have symptoms, it could be chronic dry eye.
It's all about eye love, my friends.
Colbert's all new with First Lady Michelle Obama tonight.
Next Tuesday, the new season of NCIS New Orleans is off and running.
No more jokes, this is serious.
Well, I didn't kill nobody.
This is how we do it. Here to take in a murder suspect.
It's not personal. Not for you.
NCIS New Orleans, CBS next Tuesday at its new time.
This is Oklahoma's own News on 6.
Video released by Tulsa police doesn't show everything that happened Friday night when Terrence Crutcher was shot and killed, but it does show enough to raise questions about exactly what officers saw. And today, attorneys for the Crutcher family say there's no way he could have reached inside the window of his SUV, as police claim, and they say they can prove it.
New here at 10 o'clock, we have team coverage on the deadly shooting, and we begin with News on 6 anchor Craig Day with the latest details on the investigation.
Scott and Terry, the attorneys representing Terrence Crutcher's family had technical experts go through the police video slowly and meticulously. The legal team says these images show the window of the SUV rolled up, smeared with blood. Officer Betty Shelby, the officer who shot Crutcher, has said she fired because she thought Crutcher was reaching into the SUV and she was afraid he was getting a gun. But investigators never found a gun. That, combined with having so many officers on scene, Crutcher's attorneys say non-lethal force should have been the only option.
He didn't make any sudden movements. The only movement that happened is when Terrence was hit by the taser. And he was shortly thereafter shot. and his blood splattered on this window, on this car, and it just rolled all the way down, and it pooled as he bled out without anyone coming to his aid.
TPD has 3 angles of the shooting, 2 from the ground and 1 from the department's helicopter. But there could have been 3 or 4 more videos if TPD officers had body cameras and if Officer Shelby's dash cam had been on.
When you have interaction with citizens, when you draw weapons, you make sure those body cameras are on and that the audio is working, because we could have heard everything that transpired simply if the officers would have followed what I believe is their protocol and turn on the body cameras. Why else have them?
Right now, TPD officers don't wear body cams. The officer who fired the shot had a dash cam in her car, but it was not recording. The camera is triggered with the emergency lights, and they weren't on, so the camera wasn't on either. Craig Day, News on 6.
Hundreds of protesters rallied in front of Tulsa Police headquarters tonight, calling for the arrest of Officer Betty Shelby, the officer who shot and killed Terrence Crutcher. And then those protesters moved on to the Gilcrease Police Division near where Crutcher died. News on 6 reporter Tony Russell's live there tonight with more. Tony?
In just the last 30 minutes, I followed those protesters who gathered here at the Gilcrease Division and then started to walk out to 36th Street North and then west. That group chanting Black Lives Matter and obviously justice for Terrence Crutcher. They had a lot to say, a lot of emotions. Again, a lot being said. That they said they were going to go from the TPD headquarters that happened at that protest earlier tonight and up here to 36th Street North. Obviously, this is where the scene happened Friday night, just west of where I'm standing. But at tonight's protest rally, a lot of the people I spoke with just wanted their voices to be heard.
And we're telling them to fire, fire.
The energy is high. Anger is high. The front steps of the Tulsa Police Department held the latest protest in the wake of Friday's police shooting of Terrence Crutcher.
There's a gap somewhere in the media story, and I need y'all to hear me. We are sick and tired of gaps in your story. Come with the truth or don't come at all. We are holding you accountable.
Tonight is a call by the protesters for the arrest of Officer Betty Shelby, who shot Crutcher.
Fire! Fire! That's right. So don't get it twisted.
Crowds spilled onto 6th Street and the balcony above.
My soul hurts. My soul hurts. That's why I'm here. Justice. It's not right. You don't just go shoot someone down unless your life was actually in jeopardy. Her life wasn't in jeopardy. We see that. We saw the tape. Everyone saw the tape.
Protesters wore shirts to support Crutcher's family.
So this shirt speaks for itself. Hey, I ain't doing no wrong. My hands up. Don't shoot.
Anything that's resonating with you?
Well, I think the recognition that we need to come together and work together, and as a community, collectively collaborate across racial lines. As you see, there are all races out here.
The Reverend Al Sharpton expected to be in Tulsa tomorrow, as well as another protest I'm told will be happening at 10 o'clock at City Hall. Reporting live in Tulsa tonight, Tony Russell, News on 6.
News of Terrence Crutcher's death is trending on social media sites around the world, allowing millions of people to join the conversation. News on 6 reporter Marty Casper spoke with an expert to learn more on how social media shapes the overall conversation about race and police. Marty?
Well, Terry, it's something many of us do without a thought. Get on Facebook, see what our friends are doing, check the news, and maybe sometimes voice our thoughts on the national conversation that's going on. But is that national conversation online solving anything?
Oral Roberts University professor Dr. Curtis Ellis studies the habits of social media interaction.
Social media conversations aren't really conversations for the most part.
That's because he says we tend to see like-minded posts.
Social media is another place where we've developed echo chambers. Your social network is going to look like you.
Or in other words, one-sided conversations.
Because of the dynamics of social media, you're more likely to see it from a perspective that represents the kind of group that you're a part of.
Since a Tulsa police officer shot and killed Terrence Crutcher, people from all over have posted their thoughts. On Facebook, one person wrote, "Until we can admit there's a problem, change cannot happen." Another says, "We don't know what happened and none of us were there, so until you get all the facts, Please let the police do their jobs and don't express your outrage until it is proven that the cops were out of line.
People are going to chime in. That's kind of the way social media is set up.
Both relating to the same story, but in their own way.
So there's exposure bias, there's all kinds of information bias, there's confirmation bias, all of those things.
Dr. Ellis thinks it got this way partly because
you don't have to expose yourself to things you don't agree with. You can hide those posts.
To ensure you aren't only exposed to like-minded people, Dr. Ellis says,
mute your predispositions just to hear, just to empathize, just to try to see where they're coming from.
Very fitting thought. Now, another person on social media posted on Facebook about Terrence Crutcher's death saying, quote, "This isn't about agenda or painting with wide brush strokes. It's about empathy and wanting to see things get better." Certainly a lot for us to think about before we click post. Marty Casper, News on 6.
In the day ahead, Tulsa's All Souls Unitarian Church is joining other churches tomorrow for what they're calling a Vigil for Justice tomorrow evening from 6 to 8 at the Metropolitan Baptist Church. And this takes the place of the All Souls Vigil that we told you about at 5 o'clock on our newscast tonight. And new since our news at 6, Tulsa Community College, where Terrence Crutcher was enrolled, has scheduled a memorial service and is offering counseling services for any student or employee who needs them. Tomorrow, TCC has a peace celebration, it's called, planned for noon in the Southeast Campus courtyard behind Building 9. This was already planned, but will now include a moment about Crutcher, and the college also will hold a remembrance ceremony for Crutcher at a later date. And breaking news tonight from Charlotte, North Carolina, where there has been another police-involved shooting. Police there say they were trying to serve, this is a live picture that was from Charlotte, and that's now Washington, D.C. So we apologize for that, but police in Charlotte were trying to serve an outstanding warrant. They saw a man get out of a vehicle, and when the person got back in the vehicle, they say that the police officers shot at him. The police say the gun was recovered at the scene, but there has been some unruly bottle and rock throwing tonight in Charlotte, North Carolina. We hope to show you that live, but obviously we couldn't do it there. But that is another shooting that's going to have to be investigated, and that's going on tonight in Charlotte, North Carolina.
And in other news now, a Tulsa mom says she is the victim of a road rage incident and she got it all on video. Police are now investigating and have advice in case you're ever in a similar situation. News on 6 reporter Annie Chang is live in Tulsa to share it. Annie?
Well, Terry, law enforcement officials say rule number 1, never provoke a road rage confrontation. Avoid them at all costs. But this Tulsa mom says she did nothing to provoke this.
And the woman who took this video says she has no idea why this happened. Out of fear for her safety, she does not want to be identified, but tells News on 6 the incident happened Monday afternoon near 31st and Garnett. She says the motorcyclist cut her off as she was turning left, and about a mile later, he got off his bike and bashed the window of her car with his helmet, with 2 kids in her back seat.
There is no right answer when you have somebody who jumps off the motorcycle and knocks your window out.
Oklahoma Highway Patrol Trooper Dwight Durant says drivers should avoid these situations at all costs. Never provoke an erratic driver, he says. Avoid eye contact and don't make hand gestures. But if you are attacked, Durant says, get away immediately.
If you find yourself in that situation, do whatever you can to defuse the situation and get where you can call 911.
The Tulsa mom did call police, and fortunately, she had video evidence of the attack. She tells us in a Facebook message, quote, "Never did I imagine him busting my window with 2 kids in the car. It's a traumatizing event that will take me a while to get over. My anxiety has been on 10 ever since. I hope to sleep tonight."
Just because you're in your vehicle, you might think that you're safe. You're in your little cocoon there and you're protected. As you can see, that guy knocked the window out with the helmet. She was not safe.
And nearly 4,000 people shared that video to help police identify that motorcyclist. Officers are still investigating this case. Reporting live in Tulsa, I'm Annie Chang, News on 6.
The University of Tulsa is cutting costs, and that means cutting jobs. TU announced today it'll cut 43 non-faculty positions, plus it won't fill the nearly 20 positions that are open right now. And starting next month, the university will temporarily stop making contributions to employee retirement plans, and they're asking for voluntary salary reductions of 6 to 20% from members of senior administration.
Cowboys on horseback had to help road crews clean up a crash in the westbound lanes of Highway 412 this morning near Old Keystone Road.
this really closed down westbound 412 for quite some time. They had 12 cattle escape.
And they caused some trouble. It took about 5 hours for those cows to be all successfully rounded up and for folks to remove the ones that were still on the crash truck.
Well, fall arrives Thursday, but it will still feel like summer on our Osage Casino Skycam network when it does. Coming up in 6 minutes, Travis tells us that the start of autumn will bring with it more chances for rain.
More of Bob Dylan's archives are now in Tulsa. Coming up, where you can see some of them close up before they go on permanent display in the Brady District.
And next to 10, what's causing the water in a Tulsa County town to look and smell so nasty?
A massive flood. But this one was different.
I'm Travis Meyer. It's been 30 years. What lessons this should have taught us, and are we ready for the next time?
Wednesday night at 10 on News on 6. We take your family's safety seriously.
Automakers recall millions of cars
When their safety is threatened,
a new way thieves are trying to get money.
whether it's crime, school, illnesses, products, or scams.
An alternative to the EpiPens.
Start your day prepared with 6 in the morning.
Got a clunker? A junker? Want to trade up? Bob Hurley will take it and pay you $2,000, $4,000, up to $6,000 for your trade. Push, pull, drag it in, or call Bob and he'll tow it in. Plus, get 1.9% interest for 66 months towards select certified pre-owned vehicles. Push, pull, drag is only at Bob Hurley Ford.
It's gonna be a wild ride at Hard Rock Casino Tulsa during hot summer nights, where you can win over $1 million guaranteed in cash and prizes. Earn entries daily every month this summer for your chance to win prizes or tons of cash every Saturday. This September, you have 3 chances to win amazing cash and prizes at 2 p.m., 6 p.m., and 10 p.m. It's gonna be a wild ride with over $1 million in cash and prizes, only at Hard Rock Casino Tulsa.
Right now, at the all-new Jim Norton Chevy in Broken Arrow, buy with 0 down, 0% interest for 72 months, or 0 payments till July 2017.
Come on, Tulsa, who does all that?
Right now, take 13 grand off a new 2016 Silverado. Plus, get a lifetime engine warranty and oil changes for life at no extra charge.
I'll do all that and more.
So hurry to the all-new Jim Norton Chevy.
Jim Norton Chevy.
In Broken Arrow.
There's a reason that Air Comfort Solutions is Oklahoma's largest and best plumbing, heating, and air company. It's because we service the entire metro area with a guarantee of your satisfaction or your money back. From Owasso to Jinx, from Sapulpa to Broken Arrow, and everywhere in between. Air Comfort Solutions is fully staffed 7 days a week, ready to help. Wherever and whenever you need a solution to your plumbing, heating, and air conditioning problem, your winning call, aircomfortsolutions.net, 743-2300.
0% for 72 months has been extended at Bob Hurley Ford.
That's right, 0% interest on every new Ford in stock.
Like the Ford Escape, Explorer, Edge, Expedition, and more, including America's best-selling truck, the Ford F-150.
High-definition programming on the News on 6, sponsored by Cox, Tulsa's best choice for HD.
And we are following breaking news right now. There's a protest going on in Charlotte, North Carolina after an officer-involved shooting there left one man dead. Protesters have filled the streets. This is a live shot, and you can see from a helicopter that a number of people have surrounded a police car. Moments ago, they were jumping up and down on that car. Quite a lot of intense emotion there.
As we told you earlier, this was a service of a warrant. Police say a person got out of a car there, had a gun, they say. They fired and shot this person. We're calling it an officer-involved shooting, though I don't know whether the person was killed, but this is clearly...
The person was killed.
They were.
Yes.
And so this has clearly grown tonight in Charlotte with widespread demonstrations on the latest police shooting in the United States, and police using tear gas tonight there and closing off lots of streets in Charlotte tonight.
Closer to home now, the city of Collinsville says the water is safe to drink, even though it might taste and smell bad. Several people complained online that the water tasted like dirt and looked murky. The city says this happens when the temperature of the city lake changes, which stirs up the bottom of the lake where the city draws its drinking water. The city says they've adjusted their treatment process and the water should be back to normal by the end of the week.
Well, even though we approached 100 degrees today, we're just 95 days from Christmas. Santa needs some help. help, and Macy's is looking for 83,000 seasonal workers across the country. While the company won't say specifically how many jobs that will mean for the fulfillment center up in Owasso, we do know they'll hire nearly 700 seasonal workers in Kansas and Oklahoma. And if you're interested in snagging one of those jobs, go to newson6.com and look under links mentioned.
The city of Tulsa is spending more than $70,000 on a walkability study of downtown. All this week, walkability expert Jeff Speck is in town, walking downtown street by street. Today, he met with business owners in the East Village and Blue Dome districts to discuss ways to better connect the neighborhoods.
Here you've got a lot of beautiful buildings. You have a downtown core and other little districts like this that have a lot to attract you to them, but you just don't feel safe walking along the streets.
Speck will spend the rest of the week with other downtown business owners and present his final report early next year.
Now, the Oklahoma weather expert, Travis Meyer.
It was a hot day today again, and everybody's saying, come on, fall, where are you? Well, it's going to get here, and by the time we get into the weekend, the transition occurs, and officially it's fall here in just another about 36 hours. But meantime, we're talking about heat index values earlier today, 107 downtown Tulsa, Broken Arrow, Bixby, Coweta. I mean, everybody. That was just hot. Triple-digit stuff going on. How do we get cool? Well, our friend Mike Warwick, Dick Furrow and I know him. He's a Tulsa guy who's now near Creed, Colorado, and he has a beautiful picture. You can see the color of aspens and other trees starting to change now. So there's a sign that fall cannot be too far away. Yes, that's the mountains, but that means that something's going to happen here before too long. 87 degrees right now. Heat index 95. That's kind of in conflict with that beautiful colors of fall there is all I'm saying. South wind at 10 right now, 65% humidity. Dew point still 74. That's a sauna. That's what we've been complaining about for a lot of the summer. I mean, it's a good thing because we're not totally drying out, but still, wow, pressure is rising at this time. Well, the heat island effect is alive and well in Tulsa, as we said, 87 still at this hour. Most other areas are cooling off into the upper 70s and low 80s. So, okay. Humidity values are still quite high, so our temperatures tonight are not going to drop that far again. So looking at the new data coming in tonight, similar story to tomorrow morning, as we're just going to get in the upper 60s, low 70s. That's about it. Some of the coolest readings will come in from the Ozarks. Overall, okay. It's just, you know, a couple more days and then it'll be over with. Temperatures during the afternoon, hot, back up between 90 and 95. Most all areas, exception would be in the northwest Arkansas. But our heat index value should be at or above 100 for many areas again tomorrow. Now, as we start to stretch on into Thursday, not a whole lot change here. You can see some clouds up to the north and west, but we'll be in the 60s to around 70. We'll have partly cloudy skies, some high thin clouds. We'll try to filter in occasionally with some fair weather cumulus clouds.